Huh? Oh, music's quiet. That's weird. That's weird. That's weird. I don't know why the music's so quiet. It's just like always something with the audio here, right? Man, is it actually like picking? I think the microphone's even picking up. Huh. Weird. Yeah, I don't know. Why is the music quiet? That's so weird. It is quiet, though. I mean, I can see that it's quiet. I can see on the mixer that the audio of the music is quiet. My audio is landing exactly where I want it to. Right there. Right at the beginning of not good. Anyhow, what's up, everybody? How you doing? Hopefully you're having a fantastic Monday. 75 degrees and sunny. Although it was chilly this morning. It was like 40 degrees out there this morning, and there was all wet. It was all wet. There was mist and fog, foggy wetness, and coldness this morning. But it's a lovely day outside. It has become a lovely day outside throughout the day. Although the rain returns tomorrow, so don't get your hopes up. That we're in a long stretch of beautiness here, because it is officially fall in the greater Pacific Northwest, as far as I can tell. I'm no expert, but it's fall out there, baby. We got leaves starting to turn orange. Leaves are starting to turn orange. It's starting to get cold in the morning, and the fall is here. Autumn. You want to call it fall or autumn? How do we want to call it? I normally say fall, unless I'm in a, some kind of professional setting where I got to sound like I know what the autumn is. Like, all the leaves are brown, and the sky is gray, 'cause it's autumn now. Isn't that how that song goes? I think that's how that song goes. Anyhow, yeah, we're moving into fall. We are a few weeks into school. The school transition has been interesting. It has not taken long for my daughter to not really want to go to school all that much. It hasn't taken that much time. She said to me today, Dad. I said, yes. She said, how about I just skip kindergarten? And I said, if you skip kindergarten, how are you going to get to first grade? And she said, well, I could just skip kindergarten and go to first grade later. And I was like, I feel that. I really do. I feel that all the way down in the depths of my bones, my lovely daughter. Love you so much. Time for school. Yeah. Love her to death. But it was time to walk in the school doors. The transition has been fairly difficult. A lot of growing pains with the daughter trying to figure out the whole new environment of the school and the rules and the regulations and the restrictions and the this and the that and whatnot. But we've seen some improvement. So that is quite good. It's quite good to see improvement out of the children, right? That's the whole point. Isn't that the whole point? I think that's the whole point. I'm not 100% sure. Somebody will have to tell me if that is the point, but I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that's the whole point. Our boy Skog Shrimp and Stuff says, I want to go back to kindergarten. I agree, man. I agree. I want to go back to kindergarten. That would rip. But if I had to go back at 44 years old and stay there for very long, I would turn into a spicy character myself. You know, I'd be like, fuck this. I can't do colors today. We're not doing colors today. I already know the colors. I got them locked down. You just put up any color up there. I'll identify it. Is it yellow ochre? Is it mother of pearl? Is it evergreen? You know. So I think eventually I would lose my mind and stage a coup. I probably would stage a coup. I think that's how it would go. What's that Rage Against the Machine song? The Bulls on Parade. That song would start playing. Right? You know? Hold on. I think it's the right song. Is that the one I'm thinking of? No, that's not the right song I'm thinking of. I don't know. One of the Rage Against the Machine songs. One of the Rage Against the Machine songs. I don't know. One of them. The one that goes, that song. And then tables be flipped. Sandwiches be punched. You know, somebody'd be like, that's my turkey sandwich. I'd be like, punch it. Punch it right in the turkey. Punch the turkey sandwich right in the sandwich. You know, chaos. Cats and dogs living together. You know, chaos. Big shout out to Witchy Cat for being second to the chat. Quickly following up, Frank Dominguez is first. Recap Harris coming in third to the chat. Congrats to gold, silver, and bronze to the three of you. I love it very much. Good job, and good job to me for gifting 5 memberships to my own channel. Congratulations, and you've also been congratulated by the Fish Fam Link bot, which we are only 80% certain is actually a bot. I mean, I felt like we were getting into the hundreds. We were approaching 100% assurity that the Fish Fam Link was a bot, and then it commented a few times. So one of two things are happening. One of two things are happening with the Fish Fam Link bot, which is unaffiliated. I don't know the Fish Fam Link bot. I don't know where it comes from. It's a mystery to us. It's like Bigfoot. Like, we know it's there, right? But we don't know how it got there. We don't know why it got there. We don't know what it can really do. But one of two things are happening. Either the Fish Fam Link bot is actually a bot and it's learning, or there's a person, or it's a person. I guess it could really only be those two things, right? Those are our two options. And dear Lord, if those are our two options, Skynet is happening sooner than you expect. MFY, SFY. I got to figure out how to say that. Mephisify? Is that? I wonder if I could do how to pronounce. How to pronounce MFY, right? MFY. SFY. It says mystery. It says mystery. It doesn't help. It's a stupid acronym? Oh, shit. We need to know what the acronym is. Is it motherfuckers, yams, some farty yams, Yucatan? I don't know. Is Yucatan spelled with a Y? Oh, my God. Yucatan, right? The Yucatan Peninsula? Oh, good. Good thing it's spelled with a Y, because I was about to... oh man, I was about to have a real life what do you call it? Crisis. I was gonna have to call the crisis hotline, basically. Got to figure out how to get Sunwise back. Yeah, how do we get Sunwise back? How do we get 100 people back? We used to have multiple hundreds of people, but I don't hang out with the Aquarium Co-op anymore, so that's probably where those 100 people went. They like desperately, they're like, I'm leaving, and they left or whatever. So either way, c'est la vie. Here we go. My fucking yearly salary fucking yaks. Okay, that works. But you doubled up the fucking, right? So are we supposed to, like, you can't double it up. Yeah, how do we get Sunwise back, though? That's a valid point. Brennan Lightcap says the Fish Fam link bot, or Linky as I call it, is a bit but is a bot. Okay, this is just a slight typo there. Okay, and I just kept reading it like an idiot. But can also be piloted by a person. Yep, you can't answer the question. It just has to remain a mystery. That's the whole fun of it, Now, we'll just have to delete this VOD so no one knows that that question was answered coherently. Actually, forget it. Next week, I'm just going to act like we never knew again, because it is like Bigfoot. And also, people do like, internet, right? And I don't do internet anymore. I used to do that. I used to yell surprises, and then I would go to conventions, and people would yell surprises at me and then want me to yell it back to them, which I did realize that, like, having a wacky catchphrase like that meant that people were going to wacky catchphrase my ass forever, and I was like, dude, we got to stop doing that, because it's like Pavlov's dogs, you know what I mean? Pavlov's dogs just ate poison because the bell rang, right? And we don't want to be that. We want to be free-thinking adult humans with critical thinking skills. That's what we want to do. We don't want to be Pavlov's dogs around here. You know what I'm saying? We don't want that. I don't want that for me, and I don't want that for you either, right? Which is why I'm vaccinated, baby, because I don't want to catch weird viruses and get sick again. I retract my statement. Yeah. Shh, hush. Don't tell anyone. Don't tell anyone. It's a big secret. It's that last Y threw me. Yeah. I think the last Y threw me off, and then I started second guessing myself that Yucatan started with a Y, and I was like, oh shit, I'm going to make a total buffoon out of myself if I thought Yucatan started with a Y, and it didn't start with a Y, but it did start with a Y, so I was correct. But then I pointed it out verbally, so then everybody knew what I was thinking about, which makes it more awkward and strange that I would even be thinking that. But weird things happen when you're streaming and you realize it sort of exists forever in the ether, and somebody is probably ripping your likeness and making weird videos out of it, right? It's probably happening somewhere. So there's just weird thoughts, right? Is basically what it boils down to. It's a lot, right? J-Rock does stuff. What's up, J-Rock? How you doing? What's up, Corvus? Good to catch you on. Yeah. Hey, good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. It's been a long time. There's been a lot of people missing from the stream for a long time. And like I illustrated earlier, there are two things going on there. There's two things. One, I'm no longer associated with a certain portion of the internet, and I don't care to. Yeah, ultimately, it's a big giant it would be a big giant waste of my time, and realistically, in hindsight, was a big giant waste of my time. Alyssa says the shouting was nearly 6 years ago. Seems like just yesterday, but that's actually a long time. Yeah, it actually is a long time. I did have to fill out some paperwork as to the dates of my I guess employment or whatever you want to call it, and I realized like, wow, that was a long time working for somebody who essentially just ghosts you, right? Which is weird. It would be weird if that happened in real life, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, let's say you were in a relationship with somebody for 7 years and then they just were gone. And then they just left. And you're like, wait a minute, what happened there? That'll teach you the wacky catchphrase, won't it? No, probably not. I'll probably not learn my lesson. Let's say 84 years old. So 40 more years. 40 more years is probably how long it will take, you know? Uh-oh, Kiwi Momo's got to go for a while. Got to catch the replay. Okay, well, I was going to say hi, Kiwi Momo. You had your name on there earlier, and then it went away. Yeah, it had your name in parentheses, but then you took it away. So I'm not going to say it, but it's nice to read your actual name. It seems like you took it off, so that's fine. But if you catch the replay, you got to type in that you're replay team 6. People have been failing. People have been failing miserably at replay team 6 game. And does it make me sad? I don't know. I think almost everything makes me sad. So that's probably just how it goes. Held for review. We have a couple held for review. Yeah, we don't need to read that out loud. That's not nice. We're not going to read that out loud. But big shout out to Groveside Animals. Groveside Animals with the replay team 6 1 hour ago. What up, buddy? They're 9 episodes back. I don't know what they're doing. They're watching not live. 9 episodes back. Maybe they're catching up. They must be catching up. So word up to Groveside if you ever get back up into the regular nonsense around here. Shout out to you watching a 9. Was that 9 weeks? I think that's 9 weeks ago. Fish tank update. This fish tank sucks. I hate it so much. It's making me mad. It's pissing me off, and I have to do another water change right after the stream today. It's a frustrating beast at this point. And I think I've narrowed it down to reusing the old substrate. I think that realistically is what is causing a problem. And I'm not 100% assured as to why. I think that will always be a mystery. But because it's on stream, it's exceptionally pissing me off because it's on stream. You know? People are like looking at it every week and they're like, look at all that fucking algae. Look at this dipshit. He can't even fix it. And I'm like, I'm fixing it. It's taking forever. And it's not rapidly getting better, but I will say the plants are getting better. The plants are growing out of fucking control at this point. So that's good. We've got the plants going. We got the plants growing. We're back in the zone for the plants to be happy, and now we're sort of on the waiting game of water change, refertilize, and let the plants outcompete the algae. But I'm almost to the point of needing a UV sterilizer on here, and I don't have one. And I will tell you something. I will tell you a big secret into the microphone. Okay, are you ready? We're gonna come down here. We're gonna have a big secret time. Okay, we're gonna have a big secret time. I don't want to buy a UV sterilizer. Okay, I don't want to buy one. I really, really, really don't want to buy a UV sterilizer, and the one that I had, it got run over by a reindeer. Okay, remember that song? It's like, how'd that song go? The UV sterilizer got ran over by a reindeer. Isn't that how that song went? I think it went like that. Needless to say, during the move, the UV sterilizer was in a precarious position, and somebody that was helping move may or may not have dropped a bin or knocked over a bin, and it's got like 2 cracked, really important pieces of plastic on it. And I made the executive decision quite a few months ago to throw it in the trash because it was just in the way and it was irritating me, and we have too much stuff. And so I threw it away and just said, forget it. I'll worry about UV sterilizers later. And unfortunately, now I'm kind of kicking myself in the scrot because I'm like, shoot, I could really use one now, even if it had all the broken parts and probably a broken bulb. But I will tell you this much. What I don't need is the headache of trying to match the bulb and fix the parts. You know, that just would have been a gigantic waste of time. The time that I don't have. It's a little scrambly around here recently. So, you know, it is what it is. But I'm almost to the point of needing a UV sterilizer, but I don't want to buy one. So I'm just going to keep doing the work that I'm supposed to do on the tank to get the plants to outcompete the algae. Eventually the algae will run out of whatever the F it's eating and feeding on, right? Feeding. It be feeding. It'll eventually eat all of its food, and then it will die because it's a stupid. There we go. It's a stupid, and it will eat all of its food, and it will die out. So it'll be fine. We'll eventually get there. I'm just admitting that it's completely frustrating that it's on stream, and I keep showing it to you guys. And I guarantee you there's probably 10 people out there that are like, yeah, check in on that guy, and his fucking tank looks like shit in the background. And that's the problem. It's just other people judging. So realistically, it's not a big problem. It's just like irritating, and then I kind of grumble under my breath about it, and then I move on because I know being a piss baby about my tank sucking is not going to help anything. There you go. Oh, crap. I think I gave my UV sterilizer to one of the kids at work. Yeah, the problem is if I deal with a used one right now, I'm going to end up into that. Is the bulb good? Oh, I got to find a bulb for it. Ultimately, the one that I recommend is... hold on. I got to find it. It's going to take a second. We're going to find it. The one that I recommend to people... It should be on my recommendations here, right? Oh, that's why. If I was looking only through specific department. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. What? What happened? Oh, I was looking up the UV sterilizer so you guys could check it out, right? The one that I normally recommend... The one that I normally recommend is this Tetra one. But this is the big one. You guys are probably thinking about the small one, this little guy. And I got to share a link with you because if you go buy shit through the Amazon link, we get commissions, okay? So the Federal Trade Commission, I told you guys that we get commissions from the links. Okay, so there's the link right there. If you want to go over to Amazon, look at the Tetra Pond UV sterilizer. This one realistically is kind of the best one around. I've seen them sort of last the longest. The bulbs work well, and they work well. So they work well, and they work pretty long. There you go. What else do you want? And Tetra is like an actual company, so if anything's funky or whatever, it'll be pretty easy to deal with them. Whereas if you were to buy the, let's see, what's it listed like next to like items or whatever, like the Flex Xeon, I don't even know if that's a real company. Half Off Ponds, Vivo Home. Oh, there's an Oase one, but it's $260. Like, get the fuck out of here, bro. This one's $260. The Oase one is $260. So if I was a good salesman and wanted to sell you on shit, I would be like, get the Oase one because my commission's way higher. It's the best and it's so good. But realistically, the Tetra ones are sort of indestructible. I don't know what this green plastic is made out of, but it's virtually bomb-proof. I don't know. They should make bomb shelters out of it, realistically. So, yeah. Oh, my God. Zip Gun is here. Zip Gun's getting ready for Hurricane Fart Face. I don't know. What hurricane is it now? Miriam or something? Hurricane. We'll find out quickly. Milton. Miriam. I was close, dude. I was at least on an M name. You know, Hurricane M. Night Shyamalan is headed right for you. Hurricane Milton expected to make landfall in Florida. What's it going to do? There's another hurricane following a hurricane. Holy shit, Hurricane Milton is a Category 5 now. Oh! Zooey! That's not good. Hey, guys. Category 5 hurricanes are not good. Let's see. Florida storm battered Gulf Coast raced against. Who wrote this? Who wrote this article? Mike Schneider and Haven Daily. 2 people wrote this, and they left the B off of braced. Okay. And this is AP. What is going on, man? It's probably robots that wrote this. It was, all right, let's be clear. Mike Schneider and Haven Daily didn't write this. The Fish Fam Link bot probably wrote this. Anyhow, Florida's storm-battered Gulf Coast braced against a Category 5 hurricane Monday as workers sprinted to pick up heaps of appliances and other street debris left over from Helen. Oh, no, I guess maybe they raced against... I don't even know. This is fucking worded so weirdly. Anyhow, scientists expect the system to weaken slightly before landfall, though it could retain hurricane strength as it churns across central Florida toward the Atlantic Ocean. That would largely spare the other states ravaged by Helene. Is it Helene or Helen? Helene, I think, which killed at least 230 people in its path from Florida to the Appalachian Mountains. This is the real deal here with Milton. Tampa Mayor Jane Castor told the news conference, if you want to take on Mother Nature, she wins 100% of the time. As evacuation orders were issued, forecasters warned of a possible 8 to 12-foot storm surge. That's wild. In Tampa Bay, and widespread flooding from 5 to 10 inches of rain in mainland Florida and the Keys. As much as 15 inches could fall in places. That is, that's pretty wild. That's pretty wild. Yeah, so, my heart goes out to all the Floridians out there, even Florida Man, and all you weird-ass Trump supporters and everybody. I love all you guys, and I hope you stay safe. It's a goddamn tragedy that 230 people died. It is. I hate to say it. I hate to say it this way, that, like, it is what it is, but, like, a big-ass storm's headed your way. Like, you got to do something. Sorry, I'm not laughing. I'm coughing. It's crazy that another one's headed your way, but also, how many people I've gotten in arguments over the years that climate change is a liberal hoax or whatever. Global warming is a hoax, all that stuff, blah, blah, blah. And, this is the warning that they were giving for years and years, right? Is that the storms will be worse. The extreme weather will be worse. It will just continue to get worse, right? Unfortunately, we're starting to see it now, because they were talking about this shit when I was a kid. And now I'm 44, right? Let's say I was 5. It's almost 40 years. And we solved a bunch of the problems, but for whatever reason, we just don't seem to give a shit about this one enough to do too much about it. But it's a bummer, and I really feel bad for those 230 people and their families, and I bet the number is probably actually higher than that. But it's a damn shame. But also, it's a damn shame that the Republican Party is going all over the fucking news and going all over the place and just lying their asses off about how Joe Biden and the federal government isn't doing what they're supposed to be doing in regards to disaster relief. It's absolutely atrocious that these piece of shit Republicans are going on TV and talking about how the Democrat president isn't doing what they're supposed to be doing, because it's factually incorrect. And all it's doing is harming people, right? All that's doing is harming people, and it's fueled by the orange baboon, Donald Trump, dipshit McGee, standing in front of a podium made out of bricks from a building that got blown over in a hurricane, right? Just lying his ass off about how the Republican governor didn't even get a phone call from the president, yet that exact Republican governor he was talking about was on the news saying, yeah, I talked to Joe Biden. I missed a call from him. I called him right back. He answered the phone, and he asked, what did we need? We're here to do whatever needs to be done. Right? And then meanwhile, Donald Trump is clogging up emergency service lanes and shit, being all up in the way. Right? Like, how many Secret Service people have to follow him around? How many, like, motorcades and all that shit are in the way and taking up resources from evacuation crews, from the line workers, for the, healthcare workers, for all the people that are, like, trying to get work done. You got this dipshit wandering around down there, lying about a bunch of shit. And then now they're going on TV lying about it. And having to sit there and be called out on TV lying about what's going on. And it is fucking bizarre. And recently, I had a conversation with a friend of mine who's losing his mind that they're only giving $750 to the people that were affected by the hurricane. And I'm like, they gave $750 basically not cash. I don't know. I don't think it was actually cash, but it was $750 check. Here you go. You can cash that. You can, scan it with your phone, get it in your bank account immediately. Was immediate aid to help people because there was a big ass fucking hurricane, and maybe you need to buy gas, maybe you need to buy food, and maybe you don't have money to do it. Here's some money. Get some food. Try to get, if you need to get clothes, whatever, here you go. This is what we're approved to just give people right now, and then we're going to start sorting out who needs more help and who doesn't need more help. They did that immediately to people. Like, you need to fill up your gas tank, you need to grab some gas for your generator, you need to grab some milk, you need to grab some eggs, whatever. You could do that right now. Here's some money. There's no excuse. Go get that. Make sure that you're okay, and then we can start figuring out like who needs a new foundation on their house, because you're not going to be able to do that tomorrow, right? It's going to take time to get the wheels running for all that kind of shit. But for right now, the people are getting fed. But now all these idiots on Facebook are like, hey, the federal government's giving people $750 that lost their house in the storm. Like, what? And it's just patently absurd. It's just patently absurd. I don't understand. And the thing that gets me at this point, is how are people falling for this bullshit, right? How are they falling for it? Yeah, well, he said it. Okay. Can we verify what somebody says? No, we can't. We can't question the glorious leader. We can't question the billionaire socialite Democrat from New York who now just tells you he's a Republican one day, puts on a spray tan, a goofball suit. He stands like a weirdo because he has giant lifts in his shoes and he's a big fat guy. What is going on? Rick Scott said on an interview that something is going on. We are going to have to figure out what it is. And the reporter then said, well, it's climate change. Yeah, that's the problem. It's like something is going on, right? Is it space lasers? Is there space lasers going on? It's just patently absurd at this point. In 2024, you have access to the internet. You have access to looking up any knowledge that you need. You could look it up, and yet, no, I want this one weird old 80-year-old billionaire guy to tell me what's up, right? Like, I don't like it. The guy that was shooting basketball, he was like shooting basketball toilet papers in Puerto Rico, right? Or was it toilet paper or paper towels? He's just throwing paper towels to the people in Puerto Rico. I'm here to give aid. Here's toilet paper and paper towels. And I'll segue into a thing here that I wanted to mention. The unions, longshoremen and whatnot, and the ports on the East Coast went on strike. And I do not understand this, and I don't remember if I talked about this last week. I don't think I did, but I think I talked about it to a couple of people. But I would have never put on my Americans Are Insane bingo card that the moment the supply chain is threatened in any way, all y'all go out and buy all of the toilet paper. I do not understand this. This makes absolutely no sense to me. Why do people go buy all the toilet paper? I don't get it. I don't understand it. I want to meet somebody so I can understand the rationale of, like, you suddenly need 4 Costco-sized giant, just gigantic bricks of toilet paper because the longshoremen are going on strike for a little while. I don't understand. Is it like because of the longshoremen are on strike, you're going to have irritable bowel syndrome and you're suddenly going to be, taking 28 dumps a day over the next time until they get back to work? I do not understand it. It makes no sense to me. It's happening all across the country, so don't act like it's only Florida man or it's only the liberals or whatever the hell weird nonsense you want to put on it. It's happening all across the nation. which is bizarre to me because if you really ran out of toilet paper, okay, if you really ran out of toilet paper and there was a big issue with getting more toilet paper, whatever it is, whether it be COVID, hurricanes, longshoremen on strike, the aliens, I don't know. I don't know, whatever it could be. If you run out of toilet paper and it's the apocalypse, I want you to understand something fundamental. Wash your ass with some water, okay? Just wash it with some water. There are countless countries in the world, including this one that I live in, that have a thing called a bidet, which is just a water sprayer that sprays off the poop off your butt. Okay? Like, I don't understand, and it makes no sense to me. It's just insane. I don't understand it. I don't understand how you could go to Costco one week, the longshoremen go on strike, and people go to Costco and they buy all of the toilet paper. We bought toilet paper 3 months ago or something. We still had plenty. We weren't buying toilet paper. Vicky and her friend went up to Costco, so I asked them to send me a picture if it's out of toilet paper, and it was out of toilet paper. Just like so I just don't understand. I don't understand. Like, if the apocalypse comes, just rinse your butt off with some water. It's water, right? Just some water. Alyssa said, I still have so much extra TP from when my family was in town during my wedding, and I was afraid that we would run out at our house. Right? Like, it's really easy to overestimate how much toilet paper you need, I guess. I think that's maybe the reality. I think that's the reality. I think the reality is that maybe people just overestimate their toilet paper usage. I don't know. Why do people keep saying Jorge? Is Jorge here? Oh, Mexicali Fishkeeper. What's up? Thanks for the membership. Oh, you're welcome. You were a member before, and I gifted you a membership. It does it randomly. Like, if I gift some memberships, it does it randomly. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Okay. I just was wondering what was going on. People just started saying Jorge in the chat. I'm like, huh? What's going on? Okay. Fish Fam Link says, super stickers, super chats, oh my. They are fun and they help support the channel. It's true. Yes, if people give me money, it helps support the channel, for sure. Zipgun says, work changed TP dispensers, so I have a couple of rolls of the old kind. Those will last longer than a six-pack of normal. Very true. Very true. Those big-ass rolls from, like, a workplace, they'll last a really long time. But I don't... The single-ply stuff, there's something like... Satan invented that. If I believed that Satan was real, I would believe that, like... That Satan had invented it. It's the devil's invention. Single-ply toilet paper is... Why? Why is that even happening? I don't know. I envy the space and nature that you have in the U.S., but happy that we don't have these extremes and storms. Where is Just Bob? Where is Just Bob located? I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll find out. Everywhere has extreme storms, but like it's the South that has hurricanes. I don't deal with hurricanes ever. And I think a lot of people underestimate the size of the United States when they're like not familiar with it. So like if you live in Europe or something, Europeans think like, hey, we'll go to, like when I go visit the States, I'll go to LA and then I'll go to New York and then I'll go to Seattle and then I'll go to Miami. And I'll let me give you a geographical equivalent of that. So it was like if you're going to go, this isn't even geographically, I don't even think this is accurate because you guys are all so close together. I need a map. I need a good map. Let's go Europe. We'll just go to Europe. And we'll get an idea here. So, like, let's say you were in Lisbon to, we'll go here. Oh, shit, it zoomed in on me. I just want to place a marker. How do we just place a marker? On Google Maps. There's a way to do this. Okay, I've got a marker. And then I want to go to Kiev. Place the marker, you... Oh my god, what are you doing? Alright, fine, we'll type it in. Kiev. Oh my god, I don't know. This is that part where I am, like, trying to figure things out. How far is that? Oh, flights aren't available, so we better go to Minsk instead. We'll go to Minsk. Flights. Sorry, your search appears to be outside our current coverage area for flights. Do you have flights? Okay, hold on. So, if you go from Lisbon to Latvia, right? If you go from Lisbon, Portugal to Latvia. That's only a 4-hour flight. You know what I'm saying? And you are... so the countries in between there is Spain, France, Belgium, Netherlands... Germany, Poland, Lithuania, whatever the shit this tiny country. What is this country? I don't know what country that is. That's not. What country is that? That's supposed to be a country, but it doesn't have a name. Okay, anyhow. So you go through all those countries. It's only a 4-hour flight, right? So if I fly from Seattle, I don't live in Seattle, but that's where I would fly out of. If I flew from Seattle to LA, that's like a 4-hour flight, right? If I fly from, let's go Seattle to LA. Oh, no, wait. We want Seattle to Miami. Yeah, there you go. So because of the curvature of the Earth, I go from Seattle to Miami is a 6-hour flight. Yeah, that's a 6-hour flight. Right. So just to try and give here's how flying long it takes to get around the United States. So it is incredibly unfortunate, and it's horrific that the hurricanes are hitting Florida. But it's like if a hurricane hit Latvia and you were in Portugal, right? Like you don't even know it ever happened, right? So the weird thing about the United States is it's like the EU, but it's just one big country, right? I've been to the Netherlands. I loved it. I want to go back. I want to go back to the Netherlands. I loved it there. The people were nice. I did run into some racists. that was a little off-putting, but yeah, I think generally that exists everywhere. So I would just avoid those people and be like, you know, we're good. But I love the Netherlands. It was great. I want to go back. I wanted to go back this year for what's it called? There's a name for it. There's a convention there. Vivarium. There we go. I figured it out. It took me a second. I wanted to go back to Vivarium, but I don't have a ton of money for flying around making YouTube videos at this point. I don't have a sponsor. We don't have a lot of patrons. We don't have a lot of stuff. COVID really kind of fucked this channel up, this YouTube channel. Realistically, you know, we had a big following. We had a lot of people that were contributing. It made sense to work on trying to do bigger projects and stuff like that. COVID just deleted most of the people that were following this channel. Most of the people, like our patron support went down, our memberships went down, all that stuff. And I don't know if you guys have been doing the math, but that was like 4 years ago. So the reality of going, yeah, I really want to go to Vivarium without a sponsor was not going to work. And I've been down the road of like trying to get sponsorships, and the reality looks like this. If you build a giant YouTube channel, you'll get sponsors. But you don't need sponsors because you have a giant YouTube channel that generates a bunch of money, right? So it's this real catch-22 of like, just build a big channel and then you'll get sponsorships, right? You'll get sponsorships because you have a big YouTube channel, but you won't get sponsorships unless you have a big YouTube channel, but you don't need sponsorships once you have a big YouTube channel. Does that make sense? Because then you just make content and you just generate money from it, right? So it's a real catch-22, but it is what it is. So we're having fun. We do our Monday streams. I'm still filming stuff. I'm still editing stuff. It's a real slog, and just the making of the content really falls to the back burner a lot because it is what it is, and I'm currently competing with AI-driven algorithms, AI-driven content, just straight-up plagiarism on YouTube now that is just full tilt, out of control. So it's a weird thing. I really would like to do like a bunch of vlog type content. The only downside is that I put in a shitload of work doing that, and then it doesn't pay off. And then I'm doing it because then I want it to pay off, right? And that's not a good way to make anything, right? Like if you want to make something and you want it to be a good thing, making it because you need to make money is the absolute like antithesis to it being a good thing, right? Which in layman's terms means if you're going to make something only for money, it's not going to be very good. And so therein lies the conundrum, right? Of trying to figure out what exactly can and can't be done, and like going back to Vivarium and interviewing all of the people that I interviewed before would be a wonderful thing to do, and then combine those interviews sort of back to back to do like a contrast over like the 5 years that have gone by. It would be great to do that, but I don't know. I don't even know if it would be possible at this point for how much it would cost to do it. I would love to go back to all the stores that I toured, see how they've been doing over the last 5 years. How they've either evolved or maybe they went away. Maybe it's just like a really sad video where every place we go to, they're just closed. I don't know, but it would be wonderful to do that, to revisit a bunch of the places that we visited, the YouTubers that we visited and interviewed. It would be great. It would be great to go. But I don't know. Without a sponsor to like do the project, It just doesn't seem let's see if we can't find one of the states that compares well to let's find a U.S. state that compares well to the Netherlands. Population. The Netherlands has a population of 17.8 million as of January 2023, making it the 69th most populated country in the world. Some U.S. states with larger populations include California, Texas, Florida, New York, Pennsylvania, Illinois, Ohio, and Georgia. Geography. The Netherlands is larger than Maryland, but smaller than West Virginia, and flat as all get out. The Netherlands' GDP was 856.36 billion euros. In 2024, the United States nominal GDP at current prices is 28.26 trillion. The U.S. states with the highest GDPs are California, about half the size of South Carolina. What state is comparable to the Netherlands? Let's see. Oh, here we go. This might be the answer. This might. What? What is going on? This you would think that this would be easier to find. Netherlands is 0.66 times as big as West Virginia. Yeah, the Upper Peninsula of Michigan is 1.03 times as big as the Netherlands. So just the Upper Peninsula of Michigan is as big as the Netherlands. And you got 17 million people living there. Yeah, I could see how it would be crowded then. That makes sense. That makes sense. But just finding like a basic comparison, you would think would be easy to find. In comparison, them, like, what is it, like, population per square mile. Let's find a state that's like, the Netherlands has a population density of 1,400 people per square mile. Okay. I'm going to be honest, like when I was in the Netherlands, it didn't feel like densely populated. I don't know. I mean, it seemed like there were people around and everything, but South Carolina has 170 people per square mile. See, that doesn't make any sense because it says some U.S. states with higher population densities than the Netherlands include South Carolina, which says 170 people per square mile, but it says 1,400 people per square mile in the Netherlands. So I don't know. This is like confusing as all get out. You would think this would be, I don't know. You would think enough people had done enough like projects to just post up on the internet like the answer to what I was thinking about. But I don't know. Whatever. As far as I could tell, as far as like I could really tell, the Netherlands was probably The Netherlands was probably like most like flat Oregon, I would say. So if you like sort of envision Oregon only super flat, it was most like that. It was mostly like that. Yeah. Nice to see two big brother neighboring countries represented. Oh, Belgium just walked in. Hey, what's up? I really wanted to go to Belgium. I wanted to go down there. We just didn't have time. We didn't have time when I was there. I wanted to go down. I met a bunch of Belgium fish keepers, YouTubers. They were awesome, and I wanted to go down to their place, but we didn't have time because they were basically like dealing with the end of the convention, and then they had stuff to do, and God, I'm like coughing up stuff. Our timeline didn't work out well, so it wouldn't have been able to go down to Belgium and make it back. I missed my flight home anyhow. It was the craziest thing. Only time this has ever happened, I was at the airport. I went up to the counter to check in at the airport. My flight didn't leave for 100 minutes, so I technically wasn't 2 hours early. But pretty darn... I was closer to 2 hours than 1 hour early before my flight even left. And they just were like, nah, you can't go. And I was like, what? And they're like, you've missed your flight. I'm like, it hasn't even left yet. What are we talking about? She's like, you won't make it. There's some kind of like check bag automated system there that it wouldn't have made it. My bag wouldn't have made it on the flight. But frankly, I didn't even care if my bag made it on the flight. Eventually, the airlines would drop it off at my house. Because my backpack had all my cameras in it and stuff, and that was all I really cared about. The rest of it was like underwear and clothes and stuff like that in my check bag. And they were like, your bag won't make it on the airplane, so you can't. They wouldn't let me go in and get on the plane. So I ended up instead of having a nonstop flight, I flew to. They transferred me to a different flight. It cost me 300 euro, 400 euro. I forget how much it was. They charged me, and I was like, fuck it, I want to go home. And because I had to get home. Stuff was happening at home, and I needed to get home. And I was like, just, here's my credit card. Just charge it. I need to go. The lady was very helpful. She was awesome. The second lady, not the first lady that told me no, which was weird because that lady rushed me to a different flight, and we went by my gate, and my original flight was boarding as we ran by to get on a different plane to go to fucking San Francisco with my check bag because I was with the lady. Does any of this make sense to you? Doesn't make any sense to me, but that's how it went down. And I flew to San Francisco, and then I hung out in San Francisco for 6 hours. And then I got on a plane and was back in Seattle, and then I had to get my car, and then I drove home, and blah, 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 and it was a bummer. But it's all good. It's all good because it happened. It was a thing. It was a thing that had happened, and it's over now, and it was a long time ago. So, but it was very weird because I swear, Johan and I were there plenty early, in my opinion, and it shouldn't have been a problem, but it was, and they wouldn't let me on. They wouldn't let me on the plane. They were like, you can't do that. You can't get on this plane. So, anyhow, it is what it is. but we move on. We persevere. We just keep surviving. I didn't die, and yeah. I'm born and raised around Brussels. It's my hometown. Yeah, I would love to go. I would love to go to Belgium sometime and check it out. For as like tiring and everything that like traveling is, I really love doing it. And realistically, I would love to spend a good portion of my year traveling to go film stuff like Green Aqua, or go to Portugal and film the big aquarium there. When I was in Spain earlier this year, I caught COVID, and that was the days that I was going to try and buy a plane ticket to go to Portugal to film the aquarium and then come back, because the flights were not that expensive and pretty quick to go from Barcelona to Lisbon, and then use the public transportation to go to the aquarium and then come back and hop on a short flight. That was the plan, but I got COVID while I was in Spain. I caught the Spanish one that eventually made its way to the States, and everybody in the States caught it. So I was like, I already caught that one. I'm probably not catching it again, and I didn't. But I did catch a cold from the kids going back to school, and that was like 2 weeks ago now. And this whole last 2 weeks, I've been feeling better. Like, I don't feel like I'm sick, but I've had this, like, as you could tell, this whole time. Mickham says, Japan is on my bucket list. Yes, Japan is on my bucket list. I want to go to Japan. I want to ride on a train that's going multiple hundreds of miles an hour. I want to go on a bullet train. I want to go on one of those fast bullet trains. What's the fastest train? We've looked this up before. There's one of those trains that goes, 320 kilometers per hour, which is 200 miles per hour. The Hayabusa. The Hayabusa, which I think that must be what the motorcycle is named after, right? Yeah. I want to go on this train. I want to go on a train that's going 200 miles an hour. I want to see what that's like. I want to do that. I want to do that really bad, and people will be like, that's the reason you want to go to Japan? And I'm like, yes, that is the reason I want to go to Japan. There will be a whole bunch of other things that will happen and other stuff that will be going on or whatever, and I will find totally endearing and enlightening and amazing, and about all the words, all the descriptive words, right? I'll find all that stuff. Great, it'll be great. But I want to go there. I want to ride on that super fast train. I want to do that. And the United States does not have that. The United States does not have that feature. What's the fastest train in Europe? Let's see. Top 10 fastest high-speed trains in Europe. What's the fastest one there? Following the initial European services in France, high-speed rail lines eventually grew across the continent, with notable networks now operating in Germany, Spain, and Italy. We went on regular trains when we were in Spain. We went on lots of trains. They have an amazing public transit. The public transit in Barcelona, it fucks so hard you would not be able to walk tomorrow. That's how good it is. It is amazing. I was like, oh my God, I wish we had this. I was like, I wish we had this, and people were like, yeah, we have cars, so that's it. Good luck. Let's see. Number 10 is in Russia. I'm not going to Russia. It's not happening. Switzerland. I don't think I can afford to go to Switzerland. It's so goddamn expensive. So let's not worry about that. Yeah, the Renfe Pendolino in Spain. I wanted to go on this train, but there was no reason to go on this train. And it would have been really out of the way to go on this train. Yeah, because it goes from Madrid. I don't know how to say that word. Valladolid? Valladolid? I don't know. I don't know how to say that. I want to visit me koi breeders. Yeah, I want to do that too. I love visiting koi breeders, and there's a really world famous one here in Washington State, and it's been a long time since I've gone there, and I've been considering, like, I got to reach out to that guy so I can go out there, and maybe I'll make a video of that. That would be great. The Renfe Talgo in Spain. Where does this one go? Yeah. Most of them go from, like, Madrid to somewhere, right? And we weren't in Madrid. We were in Barcelona. We were with the Catalanos. Yeah. Although I would love to go to Madrid sometime. That would be great. This one's in France, UK, Belgium, Netherlands. Oh, my God. Why didn't we go on this one? We could have gone on this. We could have gone to France, UK. We could have gone like France, Belgium. UK was in the EU back then, so we could have gone to all three. So let's see. The Eurostar network on services from London to Paris, Brussels, and Amsterdam. Damn it. I could have gone on this train. Oh, my God. That would have been fucking awesome. How fast does this one go? 300 kilometers. Okay, 200 miles an hour. There we go. There we go. Which one goes faster? Let's keep going. We'll keep going down the list. What's the fastest one? $320 in France. 350 kilometers an hour in Germany. The Intercity Express 3, or ICE 3, is a family of high-speed electric multiple unit trains. The ICE 3 is operated mainly by Deutsche Bahn, I don't know, but also by Dutch railway operator Nederlands Spoorwegen. I don't know. Where does this thing go? The flagship of high-speed rail. Where does this thing go? Just tell me where it goes. That's all I want to know. Berlin. No, that's where it was built. It was built in Berlin. Where does it go? I don't know. Fuck it. We're good. So it could. I've been to Germany. So we could have gone. We could have gone on the 300-kilometer train. I'm disappointed in myself, guys. I am. I really am. I'm disappointed in myself for you, on behalf of you. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. We should have done it. We should have gone on that super fast train. Could have marked it off my bucket list or added more to my bucket list. How about that? You know? That would have been cool. That would have been cool if we'd have been able to add more of them to my bucket list. You know what I mean? Cyclocross and road racing on the cobblestone. What? Wasn't Amano a professional cyclist in his youth? I think he was, or he was just like way into cycling. I believe. That like sparks a memory of like I believe so. Either that or he was just way into it. You know. I spent many summers cycling in the middle of Sweden. I would go do that right now, honestly. The Peregrine Falcon does 226 miles per hour in a dive, if I'm not mistaken, hence things being named Hayabusa. Okay, I'm confused. Why would you name... Is a Peregrine Falcon named Hayabusa? Oh, Hayabusa means peregrine falcon in Japanese. Okay, if I read all the comments, then I would have read all the comments and I would know that. Fastest animal on Earth, hence the motorcycle name. And that train, obviously. Well, that's a good point. Okay. So I guess maybe the motorcycle's not named after the train, but it seems like the train came first, right? So maybe because they named the train that, then the motorcycle guys were like, well, this is the Hayabusa of motorcycles. This is the Peregrine Falcon of motorcycles, maybe? I don't know. Someday we'll look that up. Not today, though. Not today. I know, Micah, I remembered. I technically live in Flanders, but I speak Dutch, French, and English fluently. That's fucking badass. That's good. That's good stuff. We only learn Swedish and English and sometimes German or French. So, like, in the American school system, like, what is offered varies regionally, like, as to what will be there. But typically German, French, Spanish, Italian, Mandarin, probably Japanese, I think, if memory suits, and Russian. Those are the big ones that are available to learn. But I will say that, like, it seems fundamentally different as far as the educational system in Europe compared to the States. And somebody brought up a really good point to me a while ago, was that because it was like, oh, the Europeans are all multilingual, right? And you go, yeah, for sure. Which is awesome, and it's great, and we love it. But there's a big contributing factor as to why that is, because we learn English, which is a fucked up language in its own right, and we don't necessarily need to get into that. We learn English as our primary language. Then we learn a language later on. And one of the big differences is that, like, let's say you learn English and then in later years in school you learn a bunch of German. There aren't people out here speaking German, right? And there really isn't any German media that we're consuming, right? Like, we're not really watching German movies. We're not really watching German TV shows, although Netflix has, I think, like a couple. But there's like some Spanish shows. There's a few, but like there really isn't like a ton of media that is in these other languages that you learn. So if you're not like using it, you're losing it, right? There was definitely a point in time where I was pretty damn fluent in Spanish, but it's rusty. It's rusty because I don't ever speak to anybody in Spanish or need to speak to anybody in Spanish. So, when I was in Spain, it's like, yeah, I know what's going on, and I picked it up getting back into it. But the interesting thing is that everybody in Spain, they speak Catalano, they speak Spanish, and they speak English. And if you are somebody that obviously speaks English, they want to speak to you in English because they're like, I want to practice and talk to somebody in English, right? They're like, I don't want to talk to some guy who speaks, 60% Spanish, right? They're like, I want to practice my English because there's an English person here, and they're excited to use the other language that they know. So if they realize that you speak English, they start talking to you in English. Yeah. In the U.S., you need to know English and Spanish. Yeah. I mean, I would say realistically, if you are an American, it's really weird to like not know any Spanish. Like that's just bizarre, right? In my mind. Especially if you live down south, it's crazy how many like Texans and Oklahomans and New Mexicans and like you live in New Mexico but you don't speak Spanish. Like, what the fuck is that? Right? But it is shocking to me like how many Americans like live in Texas and they don't speak any Spanish. Right? Like, I cannot imagine growing up in an area like Texas where 15% of the population, I'm not sure how much of the population in Texas speaks Spanish. Let's look that up. How much of the population in Texas speaks Spanish? Oh, 29%. 29%. Yeah, I just could not imagine living around 29% of my neighbors and everybody and not learn their language. Like, that would be insane to me. Like, let's say 1 out of every 3 of my neighbors only spoke German, I would go and start learning German. Right? Like I would be like, oh shit, I have all these German neighbors. I'm going to go learn that language. I have the access to do it. I have the fucking internet. I could download whatever language app. I can't even think of one off the top of my head, but a language app should sponsor my channel, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, whatever. I'm not going to mention one because they don't sponsor the channel. Fuck them in their non-sponsoring thing that they're doing. But anyhow, you could download an app. You could start listening to it while you're at work. You could listen to it on the weekend or in the evening or something like that. I just, if there was a language barrier there, I would be doing everything that I could to, like, get over that, which is why I learned so much Spanish. And it was funny because I was actually talking to my buddy Antonio one time, and we'd been talking for like 45 minutes or whatever, and then I was explaining to him that, like, you know, my Spanish isn't very good. If it was better, I could probably yada, 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 whatever I was talking about. And he goes, we've been talking in Spanish this whole time. Your Spanish is fine. And I'm like, oh, yeah, Antonio doesn't really speak English. You know, and he's a great dude. I mean, he's a great guy. I mean, he really is just like a fantastic, stellar dude. He's small, you know, little guy, but amazing. An amazing dude. And I love that guy to the ends of the earth. I haven't talked to him in quite a while, but it is what it is. People have kids, they get busy, they do all that stuff. So, you know, but I couldn't imagine like being a person and then there just being this language barrier with my neighbors and stuff. I would learn it. So I think that's the reality for people living in the EU. Like Belgium is right there. You're right next to the Netherlands, right? It's not far. It's not even like much of a drive. If you wanted to drive there, it really wouldn't take that long. You know, so I think that's the reason why, you know, Europeans learn more language. It's like A, necessity, B, because the culture exists where other people are speaking other languages, and you'd like to know if you ran into somebody in the subway, because you have a subway. We don't have public transit here. It exists, but it's not good. Yeah. They say Sweden is one of the most American countries outside of the U.S. We had TV media without translation from the 80s. Large U.S. companies like to test products on us before releasing worldwide. They say Sweden. Well, I'm in bed typing sideways. Yeah, I was guessing, but I was leaving it the way that you said it because I thought it was funny. But yeah, it's Sweden is probably a lot like America because you guys aren't like super densely populated. My understanding, looking into Sweden during COVID, because they were trying to say that like, oh, Sweden should be the answer for, you know, how to deal with COVID. And you go like, yeah, but they don't really have a lot of like big city centers, and they're not all traveling back and forth, which that's what's happening in the U.S. Like, every day, how many flights from Seattle to San Francisco do you think there are every day? Yeah. So just between Seattle and San Francisco, there are 13 direct flights every day, right? So basically starting at like 4 in the morning, there's one like every hour and 20 minutes or something like that up until 10 o'clock at night. So that ultimately was like one of the really big deals with COVID, whereas people in Sweden aren't like flying north and south back and forth all the time and spreading it around all over the place like the U.S. is. So people were saying like, do the Sweden thing, and it was like, okay, then everybody just stay in place basically. You know, ride your bicycle places, eat outside, blah blah blah, all that stuff. Social distancing just naturally, because I know a lot of Swedish people have that sort of Nordic what is it, the living in silence or whatever that thing is, like the occupied silence that you all have, where it's like you don't chit chat, you don't do all that kind of stuff. Americans are chit chatting all the time. I mean, I'm probably perfect evidence of just turning on the camera and just spouting verbal diarrhea into the internet for 2 hours every Monday, right? Perfect example of that. But then again, Belgium is a smidge bigger than Maryland. Yeah, Maryland is a tiny country, a tiny state. I think Maryland the smallest? Maybe Rhode Island is the smallest. Maryland, smallest state. I think Rhode Island is the smallest. Okay, Maryland is the 9th smallest state. Five smallest states by land area is Rhode Island, so I was right about that one. Delaware. Delaware would have been on the list. Connecticut, Hawaii, New Jersey. Those are the 5 smallest. New Jersey's a weird state. It's very densely populated in the areas where people are at. And then the other side is like trees and stuff. Very weird. It's a weird state. Yeah, Rhode Island is only 41 miles in length and 20 miles wide. That's small. I live in a county that's way bigger than that. Let me look how big. Hold on. Oh, this is funny. This is hilarious. So the county I live in, which is like the land area. So the state are broken up into counties, right? Smaller, basically like districts within the state. So the county I live in is twice the size of Rhode Island. No, 3 times the size of Rhode Island. So it's 1,000. Rhode Island is 1,045 square miles. Where I live is 3,000 square miles. And it's not even in the top 10 biggest counties in the state that I live in. That's illuminating how small Rhode Island is. Little known fact about your lovely narrator is that my mother is actually from Rhode Island. From Rhode Island 1,000,000 years ago. Okay, hearing weird sounds, and I gotta go to the restroom. I'm gonna be right back. Everybody super chat like crazy while I'm gone. I gotta fill up my water too. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. The Be Right Back screen. The Be Right Back screen is worth it every time. Every time, the Be Right Back screen is worth it. You know? That image there is Palouse Falls in Washington State. It's amazing. Amazing place to go. And I'm not saying that I illegally flew my drone there. I'm not saying that I did that. But if you did do that, you might have some really cool footage that you can't put on the internet because you'd likely get in trouble. I'm not saying I did that. I'm just saying that if somebody did do that, they probably wouldn't be able to put the video up on the internet. Did she almost block me? What happened? Sorry, Mickham, that was the baby smashing my phone screen. Oh. Let's view the deleted message. And perhaps we are odd because we're a socialist country from 60 to 80 years before the 1980s. Yeah, sorry. Apparently the baby got a hold of Skog's phone. Skogs is one of our moderators around here. We don't have to moderate too much these days, but you know how it is. Yeah. Sorry, I'm playing a strategy game, and I got a message about something that says we're up by 18 million points, strategy-wise. And I don't know why they sent that message, but they did, and it gave me an alert. And so I read it. Turns out we're up by 18 million points. I don't know what that means, but is it good? Is it bad? I mean, being in the lead is generally a good thing, so I think we're doing fine. Needless to say. Oh my God, we did get a super chat while we were gone. It's a $5 super chat from Witchy Cat. It says, "Oh, a Be Right Back screen, worth the investment." It is worth the investment. The Be Right Back screen is epic. Everyone loves it. It's Palouse Falls, and it's quiet tunes on the piano, and everybody loves that shit, right? The elevator time. Just getting into the elevator time, people love it. I didn't notice anything. Everything seems so close in Central Europe. Just get a train for 1 hour and you're in a new large town. You're in like a new country. That's the crazy thing. You know, you get on a train or a short 45-minute plane ride and you're on an island that you're not even on the continent anymore. You're not even like on the same continent. You're in a whole nother nation that that's an island, right? Yeah, it was one of those things like, you know, one of the times we were at Interzoo, George Farmer was like, "Oh, I want to come down and see you guys, but I don't know, I'm in London." And then we saw him like 3 hours later. He was at Interzoo because he just went to the airport and got on a plane and flew, you know, a bunch of countries away in like a 45-minute plane ride. You know? So I was like, "Oh, this is why you guys have been at war for so long. I got it. Y'all hella close." You know, like if, like let's say Alabama wanted to invade Washington or something, like they had a problem. They're so far away. Like, A, we would see it coming for a long time, and then B, they're so far away they wouldn't even be able to do that. How far? Let's see. Yeah, they're 2,630 miles away. You know? They're 2,600 miles away. You know what I mean? So, like, what? They would, you know, they wouldn't want to invade. It's so far away. It's crazy. Whose dog is barking? Is that my dog? Hold on. Hey. Lucy. I don't know. Factually, that was the dog, one of the 3 dogs, and they were barking at somebody walking down the street or something. I don't even know. I couldn't even figure out what the target they were barking at was. I don't know. But we got these 3 dogs now, and it's been a little wild because we got that little puppy, and that little puppy is a vicious chewer. She's teething like crazy. So she's been doing that. She's been having some accidents in the house. Then that's now inspiring the other dog to have accidents in the house because we got Lola, who's that old dog that we adopted from the lady who passed away. And I don't know that dog was ever really potty trained, but we like really worked with that dog. And she would have some issues here and there, like little accidents here and there, but it wasn't like too bad. But the new dog being here, the puppy having puppy accidents has inspired the old dog to have accidents. And it has been entirely too frustrating to even really put into words, realistically. So it has been a dog fiasco for a little while. But I will say something that the new puppy is learning. Even though she did bite a hole through a blanket, I don't even understand how this makes any sense. But that dog bit a hole through a blanket, and one of our friends is convinced that she's part deer because she seems like a little doe. And I don't know if I showed her to you guys last week. I thought I brought her in here and showed you the cute dog, but she's super cute. I'm gonna have to get some super cuteness for you, internet wise, at some point. I don't know when that'll happen, but at some point we'll have to get some cutie McCute stuff for you going on, and then you'll love it. You'll be like, "Oh my god, that's the cutest dog ever," and I'll be like, "You're right." I'll be like, "You're right. It is the cutest dog. She's a little cutie, for sure." Trying to fix this thing. Okay, there we go. All right, got it fixed. There, thing was freaking out. The dog across the street was barking at the same time. I thought, wow, you can really hear those dogs through the mic. No, you can't. I don't think you. I really doubt that's not possible. I could barely hear her in here, but it's because she was like right out on the side yard there. I think she was just barking at some people walking down the street. But dogs have a tendency to do that. They get territorial and they start barking. And there was a study quite a while ago that one of the inheritable traits that dogs get passed down is the alerting, barking, right? So people kept breeding the dogs that would bark and alert if some fucking danger was going on back in the day. So 50,000 years ago, whenever that happened. So those were the dogs that they kept breeding, was the ones that would alert. They would alert because there's a bear or a wolf or people, really, if there's like other creepy people walking around. So it seems to be that like that trait has been passed on to so many dogs now that that's just like a thing that they are into, essentially, right? Which is ridiculous, but that's basically that's how she goes, as they say. It's great to have you streaming. Gets me away from all of the war streams bringing us down. Yeah, I'm not. I don't know. I'm not 100% as to like what's going on with the wars per se. Namely because Russia invaded Ukraine, and then somehow the brainworms got into Americans. So a small percentage of Americans have decided that like backing one of our allies with just weapons, like we're not even sending people or any of our current weapons or anything like that. Like we're just supplying them with the ability to defend themselves. Somehow is a bad thing. I don't know. It's bizarre. The craziness going on in the Middle East. By the way, I would always want to preface to anybody in anywhere in the world that would go like, yeah, it's real bad in the Middle East. And you go like, yeah, it always has been, 100 years at least. And the reason I say that is that like none of us are over 100 years old. We can't remember a time when there was like peace in the Middle East, right? It has never existed in our lives. So to be like insanely stressed out about it per se is a very weird take. As you guys know, like I am like fundamentally I'm an anti-war person, right? Like that is my stance, right? But to sit around and dwell on whether or not like Iran and Israel and all the chaos going on over there is somehow affecting my day-to-day business is that's a weird thing to really dwell on for sure. Do you know of what not to miss if you're in Pittsburgh? My friend got a daughter in college, and he is visiting in 2 weeks. I don't know. I mean, like culturally, like Pittsburgh's not really like the bastion of insane things to see and do. But like, I don't know. Let's look it up. I've only been to Pittsburgh for like 2 days or something. Top 10 things to do. Oh, this is where it gets real sad. So, the history of Pittsburgh, it's where rivers meet, right? So back in the day, they built up a bunch of manufacturing around where the rivers meet because you could move things on rivers and not ruin your horses, as it were. And so that's why Pittsburgh was there, and they built manufacturing around it. And because they did that, Pittsburgh's been there. So Pittsburgh is just kind of one of those cities that was like, yeah, here we are. Like, we're here. It's like, why are you here? Because we manufacture, right? And so as the manufacturing like went away over the years, it has just been a city. So I don't know if there's really like a ton of stuff to do there, but the Carnegie Museum of Art is there, the Carnegie Museum of Natural History, the Carnegie Science Center. So one of the robber barons of the past, basically fucking kookaloo, nightmare fuel, psychotic billionaire Carnegie, left a bunch of money around so that his offspring could live off of the money, and they could act like they were charitable. There's a lot of those things going on. So there's a bunch of museums and shit like that. But it's basically like you're going around, you're checking out the rivers, the bridges, old buildings, stuff like that. Let's see. The must-do experiences in Pittsburgh. Just do the tour, a double-decker bus sightseeing tour of Pittsburgh. Okay. This I would recommend for almost anybody going to any city, right? These double-decker bus tours, you can sit up on the top if the weather's nice. I mean, you can sit up on the top if the weather's not nice, if that's the thing that you're into. But you can sit up on the top, and they're going to drive you all around the town. The bus is going to stop at places where you can get off. I highly recommend getting a bus tour if you go somewhere. It seems cheesy. It seems stupid. It seems however you want to call it. It is all of those things, but also it's going to be one of the best methods to like go all around the city. Somebody's going to point out stuff to you that you probably wouldn't even notice if you were driving by. You're going to go all over the place, and you're going to be able to check out a ton of things that they feel like really should be illustrated to you. And so that's why I would always tell people to like go find the double-decker bus tour. It seems cheesy, but it's a day. It's not a ton of money. The one in Pittsburgh is like $40. This one says it's $40 per adult. There's another one that's $75 per adult. There's one that's $105 that goes to like breweries and stuff if you want to drink beer or whatever. But those double-decker buses, if you're visiting a city, like let's say you're in Amsterdam, let's say you're in Barcelona, let's say you're in San Francisco, let's say you're in Pittsburgh. Those double-decker buses, they're doing it every day, right? That's their thing. It's their job. They know where to go. They know how to get around. They know how to avoid the traffic. They know how to go to the places that people are probably going to be somewhat interested in. And ultimately, if, like, let's say your trip is 5 or 6 days, one of those days being going all around on the bus and whatever is probably, you're going to see way more places than you would see on your own. So it definitely is on my list that I would recommend for everybody out there to go do that, right? So always do a double-decker bus. It would just be the way I try to explain it. Hold on, I gotta fix this. This is all crooked. So your friend's daughter is going to college in Pittsburgh. That's unexpected, I would say. Like I wouldn't have predicted that. Do you have any root wood to put close to the glass? I've done it many times when missing clips. Oh, at Angel's Graphics. I have a heater problem. I don't have clips to mount them. I mean, you could make one out of something. If your heater's submerged, a zip tie will work because the water will keep the zip tie from melting. Yeah, I don't know, like any number of things. I mean, you just have to put it in the water. I mean, I don't really know how to. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't really know how to answer that question. Like, you're just gonna have to MacGyver something. Like, find something that will hold the heater where you want it to be. I don't know. I mean, I have pieces of acrylic. I guess I could mill down a piece of acrylic for you and make a thing. And like, I don't know. I don't know. I guess I would just figure it out. I don't know. I guess you could go to the store and buy the heater clips with a suction cup on it. Let me see. Or maybe there's an Amazon. Let me see it on Amazon. Let me see if I can't find one on Amazon. Well, yeah, actually, here you go. I'm going to share this one with you because it's an affiliate link, and we get commissions if you go through the link and buy stuff. You don't have to buy this thing. Just go through the link on Amazon and look around for what you want to buy. There's a bunch on here. Aquaneat, there's a 12-pack. Here's a 12-pack for the same price. This is an even better deal. Give me the link. Copy the link. Here you go. Here's a 12-pack of universal suction cup thingies that hold the heater, that hold your heater. So there we go. That's what I would do. I would spend the $6 and just get a bunch of those because you seem to lose them. So I would get some extra ones so that you don't lose them again, and then you'll have extras. So the next time you lose them, you'll be like, "That's right, I've got extras in the junk drawer or whatever." He's a sports guy. He already has tickets for the Penguins and the Steelers. That, honestly, I would say that's probably important, especially if you're European. Come to the U.S., see what hockey for sure. If you could go see hockey, going to see football can be difficult because I think I think people have the expectation because they watch it on TV that it's going to be the same. Although maybe Europeans understand from soccer, but the soccer field's smaller. Wait, the soccer field's bigger, isn't it? Yeah, soccer field's bigger, but there's less people. I mean, it's not like it's smaller, but there's like the action's smaller. If Messi's up there, you see him. He's over there. There's the ball. If you can't find the ball, you can at least find the ref. The ref's going to be near the ball. I don't know. Football can be hella confusing from the stands, is what I'm trying to say. Now that has solidified in my head, it's difficult to be a fan in the crowd watching football if you've never done it before. The first time you do it, it's going to be crazy. Hockey, on the other hand, you'll have a great time. Every like NHL hockey rink is like perfect for going. Okay, I haven't been to every single one, but all of them I've ever been to, they're like perfectly set up to watch the hockey game, and it's wild and it's super fun. Yeah, so the you're welcome for the zip ties. I would do the zip ties if it's submerged and just hang it up from something. If you want to spend the $6, it seems like there are a bunch of companies doing it, selling those heaters, the hanger things, on Amazon. So I would go that route, or just DIY some fiddly thing that is going to work for your setup. I am making a temporary door to my fish room with a sheet of pink board. That sounds about right. Sounds expected. Oh, okay. Thanks. Bye. Is that a bunch of new roots I see behind you? I don't know. Is there new roots back there? I don't know. Like I said, the plants are growing great. They're just not out-competing the algae. That's my real issue with this tank. Well, I'm holding up what feels like my wrong hand. This tank, the bigger issue is that the plants aren't out-competing the they're not out-competing the algae at this point, and it's been ongoing. And it's been an ongoing struggle, and kind of is what it is. I'm just going to keep making adjustments and kind of cleaning things up and letting it keep going, trimming the plants. The plants are growing quite robustly on the other side of the tank. I mean, they're growing pretty good over here. But on the other side of the tank's completely full. I got to trim again. They're like up at the top of the water. It looks like it's cool. I will admit it's a cool look. It's not very aquascape though. But it's just been an ongoing struggle with this aquarium, and I think a lot of it has to do with the used substrate that I put in there. I mean, I put buckets and buckets of used substrate, and I'm not 100% like which substrate was which. What did it come out of? What was going on with it? I think that seems to be the only thing that I could work down my list of WTF LOL, right? Seems to be the case. Me and my friend watched NFL as soon as we got cable TV in the 1980s here. He has been to a match some years ago. He's loving it. I love NFL. This last weekend was incredibly disappointing. The Seahawks game yesterday was a total disappointment. I do not know what was going on with the team yesterday. I watch a lot of football. There's a lot of suspicious things happening in the game. I don't even know. We have a new coach, so we're gonna take these ups and these downs, and whatever happens, we have a new coach. He was undefeated for the first 3 games, and then he lost last week, and then we lost this week. That's not great. 3-2 is still a winning record. 4-2 if we win next week, that's not bad. If we can keep up a 4-2 pace, we'll make the playoffs. So that's good. But to all the Geno Smith haters out there, just get bent, man. Like, Geno Smith is our quarterback. He's a great quarterback. Is he the greatest quarterback of all time? No. He's not the greatest quarterback of all time, but he's a great quarterback. Made a lot of plays yesterday. Put us in position to, at the very least, tie the game, to go into overtime. And even though they struggled all day, Geno Smith wasn't the struggle bus. I'm going to be honest with you. It was not. Geno wasn't the one struggling. So, yeah. I don't understand the hate for Geno from Seattle fans. I just don't understand it. But, yeah. So, but the loss yesterday was just befuddling, and I could not wrap my mind around it. I just like, what the fuck happened there? It made no sense. And then the Arizona Cardinals, wherever Mark is, congratulations to the Arizona Cardinals for beating the San Francisco 49ers, which still means that we're at the top of our division, so that's fine. I would have expected the 49ers to win yesterday, but they lost. And the Los Angeles Rams lost also. So we're still at the top of our division, which means if we keep that up, we'll go to the playoffs. So either way, we got to get to the playoffs and just keep having a good time with going to the playoffs. Playoffs, right? So that's our main goal, and that's what the Seahawks should be focusing on, and that seems to be what they're focusing on. So hopefully they clean up whatever that weird game was yesterday, and we don't see that again. Hey, if this temporary door works, that flips priorities on my fish room project a bit. Real door can come later. Yeah, I wasn't questioning your temporary door solution. I was thinking like, yeah, that makes sense. It's insulated. You could pop it in and out of there, That'll work. It'll work. You need to see our new Dutch midfielder in Liverpool FC soccer team, Ryan Gravenberch. Gravenberch? Let's see him. Well, I'm seeing him. Oh, I can't watch that. Yeah, I'll admit I haven't seen him play. But I'll check it out. I played soccer for many, many years. I love the sport. It's difficult to watch in the U.S. It's hard to keep up on all of the leagues. It's like there's so many leagues in Europe and around the world. It's very difficult to like keep track of soccer and know what's going on. I'm noticing that it's 4:00, which means I got to get ready to go get my daughter. And as I was talking to Rebecca earlier, I need to stain some things for a customer. I need to stain some pieces of wood that I worked on for a customer, and we're gonna do that. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna go get that stained, and then we're gonna go get the daughter, and we're gonna do some dinner, and that's how it's gonna go. And it's Monday Night Football tonight, but I don't even know who's playing, because normally on Mondays, Olivia and I play. Let's see, Monday Night Football. I noticed the other day there was 2 games on Monday night, and I do not understand how there are 2 games Monday Night Football now. That makes no sense to me. Oh, this would be an exciting game. Saints and Chiefs? Ooh. Monday Night Football. Saints and New Orleans Saints and the Kansas City Football Chiefs playing Monday Night Football. Monday Night Football. And we have YouTube TV, so I can actually watch it. It's on ESPN. I can actually watch it. I was unable to watch it before because you don't get ESPN unless you have cable. And I don't want cable. Okay. Well, either way, I love you guys. Thanks for the $5 super chat. And hopefully we get a whole bunch of new members by next week. Somebody asked me a while ago, like, how many members would you need to do this full time? And the unfortunate thing is like 1,000 or something. I don't know. The number would have to be a lot. And I would love to be able to do a 2-hour live stream every day and make videos for you guys full time. But the channel doesn't support that. So I would end up homeless and crying in the street or whatever. Or I would become a, what are those guys? A mafia guy? Would I become a gangster? Maybe I'd have to become a gangster or a wankster. I don't know. One or the other. Who knows? Love you guys. I'll see you later. If you are a member or a patron, hit me up on Discord if you need anything or want to know or want to share or whatever. All right. Bye-bye.